Hi everyone, welcome to CC Stuff with stewiejp. We're back. This time we're focusing on OBS Studio, OBS Live, OBS Project, whatever you want to call it. It's what I reckon is a really handy free piece of software that can help you with your content creation. So if you're just starting making videos or streaming on Twitch, this might be helpful, or even if you haven't just started, you're thinking about it, this guide might help you. This is going to be a bit more in-depth about how to set up OBS Studio or OBS Live. I'm just going to call it OBS in this video because there's a lot of different versions of it. It's a really handy piece of kit. I use it. I've used it since day one. Did I mention it was free? Let's go take a look. This is what it's going to look like. I've created a fresh sheet, if you like. Obviously, I've got my scenes and sources and scene collections and profiles and all that kind of jazz set up on OBS Studio itself. OBS Live is one that I use. But this one, I've created a brand new profile. I'm going to take you through how to set it up step by step. Now, again, I might have said at the start of the video, I just want to reiterate, this is mainly for beginners. This is mainly for people who have never done it before or who are just starting and want to maybe freshen up their stream a bit or even tidy up, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed. This is going to be a pretty simple guide mainly aimed at those starting out. Start with the settings, which is down here just above the exit button on the bottom right. Now, if yours looks a little bit different, don't worry about it. There are different versions. My version might be different to yours, and there are different ways to set it up. We won't cover that in this video. I'll leave you to explore that yourself because the options really are endless. If you look at your settings, when you open up the general settings, for starting out, this is going to be, whatever is the default settings are going to be fine. They're going to be fine for somebody just starting up. Clicking on the stream settings, if you're doing it through Twitch like I do, there'll be a option there to connect your accounts. You can either connect your account by clicking on that button and logging in with your Twitch details. You might need your mobile phone for that if you've got two-factor authentication turned on, or you could use a stream key. Every Twitch account has a stream key, and I think Facebook Gaming also uses stream keys. YouTube probably does as well, as a way to not need to log into your account via Twitch. However, if you're using this for Twitch, I would highly recommend logging into your account because it does open up a lot more opportunities. That's a pretty simple one. This is where it gets a little bit technical, but it's not too hard, just between you and me. The output, I would highly recommend, look, you can try the simple mode if you like. I never have, but it's basically with the simple mode, which might be fine if you're starting out. Might be fine. Your video bitrate, I would not recommend starting at 2500. The highest you want to go on Twitch is 6000. That's the maximum bitrate. But if you're partnered, you can go higher. But for affiliates and for non-affiliates, I believe the maximum is 6000. Some people report if you go higher than that, it does increase your quality. Look, it might. But this is a simple guide. This is not a extensive guide. So the most I would go there is 6000. The encoder here, this doesn't show the encoder that I use. You can either use software or hardware. Hardware, NVENC, is probably the one to go to. There's your audio bitrate there as well, which pretty much the default is fine, especially when you're first starting out. For the recording, it says you just got to pick where you want your recordings to go to. The quality could be the same as the stream. It can be better, it can be worse. A recording format, the default is MKV. I use MP4. A lot of people recommend not using MP4, but MP4 is the most friendly for YouTube videos, and which is obviously what I do. But a lot of people recommend doing MKV or something else, and then after you're finishing editing, transferring it into MK4. What I do though with all these outputs is I go to the Advanced tab, and then it opens up some more options: streaming, recording, audio, and replay. Streaming with the encoder. If this encoder is here, if you're using a relatively new NVIDIA graphics card, this option will be here. It even says new there. Now look, when I had my old 970 GTX graphics card, this was still here and I used it and it worked fine. Otherwise, the Times 264, that will not use your graphics card. It'll use your CPU. This one uses the graphics card. That's what you want to do if you've got it. Rate control bitrate is what most guides recommend. That's what I recommend as well. I crank this up to 6000, and if I have issues, then I lower it. You could, when you're streaming, you can lower this in-game. So a lot of the other settings you can't, but this is one that you can. So while you're streaming, if you've noticed you're losing frames, dropping this one drop it down to 1,000, down by 1,000 to 5,000, kbps. That's gonna be able to do it live on your stream. Some of these other ones won't. Leave that 0 as default for automatic. Some people recommend others, but this is a basic guide. Preset, if you can go max quality, then do it. Otherwise, quality, this is going to depend on your system, how good your system is, how good, if this one's going through the graphics card. I've got a 3070 graphics card, which I picked up, I don't know, a year or so ago, whenever they came out. And going down the bottom, though, is really not going to produce really good live content as far as I can tell. The rest you can leave as default, and that should be fine. But remember, bitrate maximum 6000. I use CBR, which is a controlled bitrate. There are other options there. I don't know too many people that use any other options than this. This Rescale Output, I don't check this. Some people do, but I'm already streaming to 1920 by 1080, which is the resolution I recommend everybody streams to, if not less. But I don't need to tick that because I'll cover that in another section. Recording is very similar to the streaming tab. Type standard, I guess that's just normal. You choose where your recording files go to, what kind it is. Again, this says MKV, which is obviously the default, but I use MP4. And the reason I've mentioned before, this is for recording videos. The previous one was for live streaming. Audio track, I use 1 and 2. Encoder, it says here, use stream encoder. I've never tried that, but what I do is I do this same one here, which is the new one, which opens up a similar kind of options. Now, for recording, these options, I have different ones for these options. For recording, I go CBR, and I crank this right up to 100,000. Now, that might be too much, and plenty of people will say, that's too much, and there'll probably be some comments in the comments down below. If it's too much, tell me what it should be. But this is what I've been doing for a long, long time. The higher the bitrate, the higher the quality in general, but there is a cap. Like I think after about 60,000, it probably doesn't need to be any higher. But I've cranked that right up. There's the other options are CQP. There are a few guides out there. I think the lower the number, the higher the quality. So be careful there. That can generate some really, really big files. VBR is variable bitrate, which if you select that, you've got two options. So you can, in this case, I would make the maximum 100,000, and this one maybe say 50,000, and the computer will work out what bitrate you need for your best outcome. Whether or not that's good or not, I'm not sure. Every guide, there's that many guides out there as far as the output go. I use controlled bitrate, and I have that between 50 and 100,000. You can lower it, have a play with it. What I would recommend is if you're doing recordings, especially for water tanks replays and stuff like that, just do a recording and see what it looks like on your system, and then change these options. Audio, I think I put these all up to 320 because why not? Higher numbers are better, right? And you want the audio to be as good as possible. The replay buffer is something which I've only just started using myself. Enable replay buffer. This does take some memory though, and it tells you how much memory it might use. You can program a hotkey to, so if you're playing a game and something really good happens, you can push a button and it saves the recording of your live stream to a file in the same place where as this file in the recording tab tells it to go. You can tell us how long. You can go 100 seconds if you like, but of course, the higher you do it, the more memory it's used. That's half a gigabyte there, or a bit over, I think. And that's why when you're streaming, the recording tab is relevant. Also, if you're going to be streaming and recording at the same time. Again, that's probably a little bit more than the basic guide that we're trying to do here, but there are a lot of different options, and some of these options will depend on your system. If you've got a super duper system and a really good internet connection, you'll be able to stream at really high quality. I'm pretty happy with my upload speed is about 50, and I think that gives me pretty good options. But some people's upload speed might be better, which might give you more options, as well as your hardware needs to be up to date as well. So the reason I say it depends on your system. If you've got an old graphics card like I used to have I had the old 970 up to about a year ago. That is not quite as strong as the brand new 3070, which I've got now. The audio tab, this is where you can put in these top two. They'll be fine. those options, the general options there will be fine. Global audio devices. This is where you can see this has all got disabled because this is a brand new option. And I don't use these. I use something a little bit more complex, but we're not going to get complicated this one. So for desktop audio, you can pick where your desktop audio will be coming from. The first one, I might say, all right, well, I know that for me, it's voice meter VIO. That's where my desktop audio comes through. A second one might be, you might want to put wherever your audio is, maybe for Discord or maybe for music. And if you want to be able to adjust those individually. Microphone, that's an easy one. Find my microphone. There's my microphone there. I can just click on that bad boy. I think. Whereabouts is it? Looking. You'll be surprised how many inputs and outputs you might have on your system. But microphone, that's not the one. Scroll up a bit, Stewie. There it is. I can put my microphone there and it works it all out. And if you've got more than one microphone or auxiliary audio, such as music, communications, web browser audios, all that kind of stuff you can add in there for it to become your global audio devices. That's probably the easiest way to do your audio. There are more options which are a bit more complex. But like I said, this is a simple guide. Video, this is where it's talking about scaled resolution. Base canvas resolution. My base canvas resolution, this one says 1920 by 1080. However, my screen is actually 2560 by 1440. I would scale any what's the word I'm looking for? Twitch prefers, if you're streaming on Twitch prefers 1920 by 1080. So I scale my output to that. It's as simple as that. Downscale filter, I think this one goes to, the bottom one is the one you want, but again, going to depend on your, if your system can handle it, and I go 60 frames per second. That's where you want to go. Hotkeys, I don't bother with any of these hotkeys. I'm not sure how they work. I'm not going to pretend I know how they work, but I'm pushing buttons when I'm playing my gameplay, so I don't want to push a button when I'm playing a game and that starts something up. So I haven't even entertained those options. And the only advanced setting I would put in this one is the general access priority. Thanks, Nappa, for putting me on this one. The default value is normal. Put it above normal. That way, if you're playing, for example, Water Tanks, and your system starts to struggle a bit, your game will stutter before your stream stutters, and that'll let you know. If your stream stutters first, you might not know about it until your chat starts telling you what to do. Pretty sure all the rest of the stuff is fine in the advanced settings, unless you want to change the way your recordings are named. Mine named, it goes by year, month, and date and time. That's all those figures mean. Makes it easy. So when you're recording something, you can tell which one you recorded today by the numbers. That's the general settings, folks. Hopefully that's pretty clear, and we don't want to complicate things too much. Now we'll just I'll go back to that. Go back to those audio settings, and we'll put these ones in because we didn't click go. We'll put the microphone in and the desktop, and we'll click apply. And when you do that, you can see down the bottom. See the microphone's bouncing up and down, and on the left the audio's going because I've got Water Tanks running in the background, which you might be able to hear. There's your audio started. You can adjust the sliders to make your voice louder or softer, or the game louder or softer. And if you add other audio sources, such as music for your Spotify or whatever you use to play music, or if you've got web browsers running, playing sound, you can adjust individually the audio from those sources. All right, let's add some scenes and sources now. This is the main, but this is the good bit. Now you need a scene, and each scene has sources. We've talked about this before. So we can add a new scene. This one can be the main gameplay. We'll call that one the main gameplay. We'll whack that one in here. So when I click on the main gameplay, these whatever sources are here will come up. So of course, main gameplay. What are you going to want? You're going to want your game, aren't you? Water Tanks. Water Tanks is running. So you go to Game Capture, create new Game Capture. I'll go OK, and I'll find it and capture any full screen app. Capture specific window. Water Tanks is right there, I think. Yes, it is. Water Tanks is right there. Click OK, and it's not coming up. Why is it not coming up? Let's have a look. Okay, we worked out why it didn't work. Didn't work because it was already showing in my other OBS, which is open, recording this video. So there you go. We've added the game capture. I'll go through those properties again. Capture specific windows, window, water tanks. The rest, leave as it is. And you can see that it doesn't look quite right, does it? It doesn't look quite right. So you can right click on it and rescale it and all that kind of stuff. But I find the easiest way to do is just make sure it's highlighted on the right in the sources column, and you just drag the corner down so that it's a bit smaller. Make it fit. That red square won't come up on your live stream, don't worry. And just make it fill your window. How's that look? I reckon that looks pretty cool. Now, we can't see ourselves on this one. So again, you want to see yourself, don't you? You want to see yourself on stream? Of course you do. Or in a video. Add another, what would it be? Would it be, I think is it media source? No, it's not. It's not media source. It is video capture device. That's the one. Video capture device. Click OK. I look for my webcam, which will be, again, it might not show because it's showing on the other one. So if I hide my webcam on my other source and I find it on this one, maybe that will work. Doesn't look like it's going to. Stand by. Okay, obviously because I've got two OBS studios running at the same time. The camera only wants to be seen on one of them, and that's the one that you can see right here. But the settings up here are exactly identical. You just when you go to, I'll close it again and I'll give you another demo. If you add your video capture device, you click on the properties, you select your camera from the device, and all the rest is pretty much good to go. And you should see yourself up on the screen, and you might want to move yourself around. You could put yourself down here, like sort of where I am right now. Sometimes I'm over here. Put it wherever you like. It's easy. Something else you might want to add to a screen might be an image. So again, you add scene here. Pardon me, the scene might be an image. You click on the image button there, create new, and you can name it. You can name it whatever you like. You can name it Tom, Dick, and Harry, and then you just browse for it. I've got my my water tanks video images under here. There's a heap there, and this template might look familiar. So we could whack that image there. Now, of course, that image might be too big. You don't want to cover the whole game. So again, you can just make it smaller. If you want to have an image on the screen somewhere, put it wherever you like. And that's how you create sources and scenes. Now, you might want to have a different scene which doesn't have all this stuff in there. And that's easy. So you can just click over here, bottom left again, on the left-hand side, create scene. Give it a new name. We'll just call it scene 2, and there you go. You got a blank canvas again. This one you might want to put. For example, a web page up on your screen. In this case, I use window capture for web pages, but you can also use the browser one. Now the browser one's a bit different. If you click on the browser, when you put it up there, you need to put the website in here. And you can change the width and the height, which is fine. And the website comes up. That's the name. That's the website. That's for the browser one. You don't have to have the website actually open. You can just have the website in that description, in that what's it called? In the properties, in the URL. Have the website there, and it comes up. Alternatively, you could add, if you've got a website that you already have open, add a window capture. And name it. I'm going to name this one Chrome because I've got Google Chrome happening. And then you'll find it here. This shows all the windows that we have open. Google's Chrome. You know what I mean? Google Chrome. There it is. Click OK. And there's Google. There's the web page that I've got open. As that other browser is still sitting there behind it because it acts like a tiered sort of window system. So you want to make it smaller. You can make it smaller just by clicking on any of the corners and making it smaller. Another handy trick, if you want to cut out this bit at the top, you push the Alt button, click on that so the arrow comes up, drag it down, and you'll see the edge turns green. And the edge turning green tells you that, or lets you know that there is more more to be seen. Again, you might want to cut this bit off on the side. Push the Alt key, drag. You can drag the sides in, no problems. And then with the Alt key removed, you can make it bigger if you want to make it fit your screen, or even zoom right in. That's how you add a second scene. And then when you're playing, or when you're streaming, or when you're recording, you can flick between the first scene that we had, which is just a blank canvas. The second screen is the gameplay that we created with. It did have our video there, but the webcam is being used on the other application. And a second scene, which might be a web page. You can add whatever you like to different scenes. The scenes I've got on my Twitch profile and on my YouTube profile for OBS is a lot more complex than that. Probably too much to go through. I'll show you quickly scene selection. If I go to Twitch, these are my Twitch scene selections that should come up. There's quite a few there. You can see them on the left-hand screen. There's a blank one. There's one for starting soon or be right back screen. The actual live stream, you can see the stinger there. That's gone to a different resolution because we changed our resolution earlier on this one, which hopefully that hasn't changed in my main OBS. Ending soon screen. You can see the stinger going there. Outro full screen, which is where you might be able to see. Normally you would see my face there, but as mentioned earlier, the application on which is recording is already using my camera, and I've also got the wargaming stuff there that I use for when I'm streaming on the wargaming channels. Hopefully this guide's been okay. How to set up settings, scenes, and sources on OBS. And I was hoping to keep this under 20 minutes. We've just missed 20 minutes, but that's okay. Hopefully this has helped you. Adding scenes and sources in OBS, taking your time, picking the ones that you want. That's all you need to do. It's not too hard. Once again, we've got the Discord channel open. There's a content creation section on the Discord, link down below. I'd love to see you there. Any questions, queries, ask me on the Discord. Ask me on this video. I'm easy. So I hope this has helped all you budding content creators out there. Good luck. I hope you smash it and have a good time. And we're here to help, so let me know. And don't forget, TankstV is live, and on that TankstV website, there is an application form there to become a community contributor. So if you're already creating content, then go for it. Why not? You get a bit of free stuff, you get some sneak peeks, and I might do a video in the future about what it means to be a community contributor. The perks you get, the fun you get, and the access to the upcoming stuff that no one knows about, which I reckon is pretty cool. As usual, thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe if you can. That'll be great. And don't forget, we're on Twitch. Link down below as well. Discord, Facebook. It's all down there. Love to see you on there. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and see you all next time.